Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTbase.com. Welcome to a weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 31st Commitments of Traders report of 2021. And as we always do, we shall look at the largest changes in commercials positions. But before I jump into the review, a friendly reminder to all of you who are new to this data. The Commitments of Traders data, is something really very, very great and something you should definitely look into. Here at COTbase.com, we offer a ton of educational material, not only in written format, but we have some very useful videos out as well. These will help you better understand what the report is all about, how you can analyze it, how you can actually use it in your trading. So back to the review, and starting off with our first market, you can see I ordered the markets based on their largest change in commercials positions. Crude oil, the Brent crude, is on top of our list with a 42% change over there. The magnitude 42% can be seen on the chart, red of course representing commercials over there. So it's a pretty significant change size, much greater than average. It is bearish, suggesting weakness coming in the next couple of days, but I should warn you, the best situations for these COT change signals are when we, for example, if we would go back here and we had a significant bearish change signal just around the top, that could actually show us the direction. When we see something like that, the decline has happened, the signal could be a little bit late for us. And then let's not forget, the report is published on a Friday usually, but it's showing you a picture from Tuesday. Okay, so that's the COT change signal. But if we open a 5-year chart, we can have a look at what the stress levels in this market are. Now, the way I do it is I open a 5-year chart. You can open a longer time frame, of course, and I first look at the one of the extremes. In this case, I'm showing you a super successful bearish COT extreme from October of 2018, just at that top. And then we go and look at the most bullish extreme levels that we had, and that basically the bullish extreme level kind of ended around that area over there on the chart. These can be in the market for quite some time before we see a reaction from the market itself. Now, then we say, okay, well, where this report stands right now, of course, I'm talking about commercials, as you may see, it's more or less in between those two extremes. So not much to talk about when we look at the extreme analysis. So let's move on and open silver, which we really much like. 17% change over there in commercials positions. That can be seen on the chart over there, being larger than average, but hey, nothing super extremely special, I should say. It is bearish, suggesting weakness coming, but we have had a significant decline this week in this market. So again, we are talking about a signal that could be a little bit late for us. But moving on to the 5 years chart, you can see that as the market is headed a bit lower, we have moved away from those bearish extremes that you may see over here. And of course, you might ask, is this already a bullish COT extreme? Well, if we'd have a COT index turned on, let's say with a 2 years look back period, then definitely. But this 5 years chart will show you that there's plenty of space left for a true all-time or close to all-time level bullish COT extreme, which means that based on the extreme analysis, it could happen that silver follows this path and we may see lower prices coming. As that happens, it would be wonderful to see traders shift their positions accordingly, large speculators decreasing their net long position, eventually going even to net short territory. That could happen. We have seen examples of that. Of course, contrary to their direction, commercials will be adding to their net long after they have, of course, decreased their net short positions to zero and turning to net long territory. That would happen. So we'll see what happens. We are more or less in between those two extremes. It can go either way, but based on the COT change signal, we may expect a little bit higher chance for a bearish outcome in the next couple of days, weeks ahead of us. Okay, a currency is going to be our next market to analyze, the British pound, with again a 17% change. Switching back to the 1 year's chart, it's more visible on there. And by that, you can actually see that in the case of the British pound, this change size is larger. I know the number is the same, but don't forget, COT data is not derived from price. So there's something really exciting about that. It's a fundamental tool, but it has a technical representation here at COT Base. And, the magnitude, you can simply visually compare it to the past 1 year. And I mean, we've seen such changes quite often, but it is larger than average, I should say, and maybe just a bit larger, I should say, than the silver. So it's a bearish COT chain signal. The situation is better because this week there wasn't much of a decline. It did close round weekly lows, but then again, the whole area in which it was traded this week wasn't that big. So again, a bearish chain signal over there. Before I move on to large speculator COT Extreme, let's not forget to analyze the extreme situation here in the British pound. And for that, I opened a 5-year chart. It's clear to everyone that we have this bearish zone over there. Started around February of this year, and we were still there for quite some time at these tops. So it's easy to compare that level to the past 5-year, and it is a bearish extreme I think we should all see. So based on that, it's possible that the trend is changing unless traders start shifting their positions back towards more bearish extreme levels, meaning commercials adding to their net short, going towards, let's say, 100,000 contracts net short. We'll see, but definitely we should note that there has been this bearish extreme that took about a year and a half. We had this bullish extreme in August of 2019. That was the most bullish extreme on this chart. And since then, traders have gone down to more bearish extreme levels. Okay, moving on to large speculator COT Extreme, we've got lean hogs on top of our list with a 380 report extreme in large speculators position. So it's visible on the chart. It's a huge extreme. It is bearish. We already see the market changing its course. So that in itself is kind of a confirmation that the signal is successful. And I would expect traders to start moving away from this bearish extreme level as the market heads lower. Next currency, Brazilian Real, with a 231 report extreme in large speculators. There you go. It is large. It's bearish. No question about that. It's just surprising to see a bearish extreme at these more depressed levels that we can see in this market. But that's the case, and we can expect this trend to continue. And last but definitely not least, let's have a look at the heating oil market, another energy for this review. 143 report extreme over there, and that puts us more or less in between the two extremes, the most bearish and the most bullish extreme that we had in this past 5 years. So we're not surprised. Of course, we are talking about a correlating market. We analyzed another energy, and the picture is pretty much the same over here. It is, I would say, if we had to choose a direction, then we go back in time, and the last major extreme was this bullish. It took some time for the market to react, but it eventually did, and since then we've been moving away from those levels, and the extreme is starting to lean towards the bearish side of the market, but it's definitely not at those high extreme levels that we witnessed back, let's say, in 2017, 2018. So there's definitely space left for traders to increase their net positions in those directions. Let's not forget that although we have came to the end of this review, there is plenty of analysis to do here at cotbase.com. We, of course, show you a few market categories, but of course, you can definitely check all of the markets out if you give us a chance and subscribe to our service. You can look at the newest COT report types, not just the classic that we're analyzing here, but we have the disaggregated, the TIFF, and the CIT report types as well. Also, you can choose the data type that you want to analyze. We are analyzing the futures and options data type in these weekly reviews, but you can analyze the futures only and something very unique, the options only data, because by unique I mean it's not really accessible to users, only those who are subscribed to cotbase.com. It's something that we created because we really wanted to know what the options traders are doing. There are plenty of data sets to analyze. You can dig deep in your analysis by looking at multiple report changes on any defined look back period. You can add the COT index, the COT move index. We have a very successful, great long-term trend indicator showing you the trend in which the market is headed. We have the volume and open interest analysis feature with it, which I think is a very good supplemental tool to COT analysis. You can always go back in time and analyze a specific report that you're interested in. We actually give you the option to go dig deep into the data for a specific market. So let's say you're interested in the Australian dollar. You select the report types, the data type that you want to analyze, and then you say, okay, let's go into the details. And there you go. You can see there's a lot of data on the Australian dollar commitments of traders report. You can, of course, open them separately and chart them if you wish and analyze them that way. It's absolutely accessible. You can, of course, download these charts if you wish. If you are a subscriber, you may actually even, in the Pro package, get access to downloading our data. That's something unique. And if I'm already there showing you all the features and softwares, let me just show you our indicators. So the COT base Pro indicators, everything that you can see on the website, but you can actually do all that in NinjaTrader. So that's something very unique. If you're somebody who's trading on a more shorter time frame, then the COT base iCOT intraday indicator is for you. And just clicking here, you can read a lot about the indicator. We have a ton of example charts, videos for you. It's really a great tool. I mean, it's not the exact COT data coming from CFTC. We have constructed this after years and years of development, but it goes down into the real time. So I think it's really unique and definitely something worth checking out. I appreciate your attention. Thank you very much for being with me in this weekly review. I hope you will have a wonderful weekend. And I very much hope to see you in my next review. Take care. Goodbye.